This e-bike has twin swappable batteries, and they say we can get up to 90 miles. And it seems like it'd make a pretty good city commuter since it is belt driven, which will help keep it lower maintenance. But since it is belt driven, that means it'll only have one gear. So the question is, will it climb hills? And what kind of range is this bike actually gonna get? So after we unbox this bike, take a closer look at all the components. We're gonna run it up to 20% grade, see how it does on hills. Then we're gonna spend about an hour and a half or 2 hours riding this bike, see how it feels, and what kind of range we actually get. It's called the NIU BQi CT3 Pro. Currently, this bike is listed for $2,200, but it is on sale right now for $900 off. Link below this video. For $1,300, is it worth it? We're gonna find out. Check this box out. These are definitely my favorite. It's just the easiest. And they give us a street-friendly tire. It's a 27.5 by 2.4. Street-friendly tread. Good size 180mm rotor on the brakes. Although taking a look down here on the caliper, we can see they are mechanical disc brakes, not hydraulic. Here's the seat. It's wide and has some raised edges on it. And the belt drive is by Gates, which is a good quality belt. It should feel smooth and be super low maintenance, but one of the downsides is there are no gears, so we'll have to see how this does climbing hills. And check out the dual batteries. I've got to say, I actually like the white and red combo. And look at this little pleasant surprise. It is UL certified. UL 2849. Rumor has it this key will work for this battery as well as this battery too. Ah, dang it. We're getting into the durability test earlier than I was planning. So this is actually a pretty interesting dual battery setup. Each one of these batteries is relatively small at 48 volts, 9.6 amp hours, only 460 watt hours of energy. So in theory, you could just run on one of these batteries if you really want to keep the weight of the bike down, or if you really want to stash extra batteries, you could get like some pannier bags and bring even more of these things along with. Let's throw it on the scale. Only 6 pounds and 3 ounces per battery. So pros and cons here. Typically a 20 amp hour battery pack weighs less than 12 pounds. By having like all the shells and all this stuff, it adds a little extra weight per battery. And they give us an interesting charger, which is 2 amps, which is not the interesting thing. The interesting part is it has this port, which plugs into this, and it has a splitter on it. So you have a 2 amp charger, which charges 2 batteries, 1 amp for each battery. So we'll get this rig going now because 20 amp hours total divided by 2 amps is about 10 hours to charge from empty to full. Although if you're in a hurry, you could unplug one, then charge this 10 amp hour battery pack at 2 amps, which would be 5 hours from empty to full. This electric bicycle does not come with front suspension, but it does have adjustable height handlebars. It's got a quick release lever up front, and around back they give you a rack. It's got metal fenders and a light on the back, light on the front, rubber ergonomic grips, and a little rubber piece on these mechanical disc brakes that feel very mechanically. Thumb throttle on the right leaves your left hand open and free for signals. Here's the pedal assist buttons. Oh, and a little bell. Display looks pretty sweet. We'll have to power it up. Before we turn it on, I suppose we should put the pedals on. And one thing that drives me crazy about e-bikes is when they put the kickstand there, because boing, it gets stuck when you roll it back. Put the kickstand there, dude. The 500 watt nominal motor is branded NIU. Here's the numbers on it. It should be able to do about 750 peak. It is listed as a class 2 20 mile an hour e-bike, but I'm guessing this manual it comes with allows us to modify that. So let's chuck the batteries on there. Smooth. Power this thing up real quick while I'm thinking of it. Seat post is 30.9 millimeters in case you want to put a suspension seat post on. And there is a quick adjust lever. So this is a TFT display. I guess I should plug these wires in. Let's power it up. There we go, NIU. Dang, clean display. So I'd have to say this display is definitely a step above what we normally see on electric bikes. Gives us both battery percentages right here. They are equal. We get odometer, trip distance, trip time, kilometers per hour. We'll change that to miles. Riding time, average speed, max speed, calories burnt, cadence, range. It's always nice when you get a estimated range. With 17% remaining, we don't have 90 miles. It's about 12 kilometers, and that's that. Of course, you have 0, assist 1, 2, 3 pedal assist levels. So let's say you don't want to use kilometers now, or let's hold plus and minus here. Oh yeah, and this display gives you a super nice interface to work with. So we'll change it to miles. What else we get? Brightness, auto power off is set to 10 minutes. Exit menu. Headlight has this cool little halo effect. Hold the plus minus for about a second and it turns on the light. When it's bright in the middle of the day, that's about how bright the headlight is. There's also a light on the rear, which is a brake light when you pull the brake lever. The PSI in the tire should be anywhere from about 30 to 55. We'll do 50. To give you a little reference on size of the bike, here's what a 6'5" dude with an inseam of 34 on the bike looks like, with the seat on minimum height and the handlebars also on minimum. Here's what my pedal stroke would look like. Too low. So let's raise the seat up to max height. And now here's how the bike fits me and what my pedal stroke would be like. I'm gonna raise these handlebars up just a little bit. There's a little 5mm key down here. Loosen that up and you can adjust your handlebars. So you can adjust them to where you want them and then tighten everything back down. I'm a giraffe, so I'm gonna put them up like that. Oh shoot, don't knock over the camera. Now the bike looks more like this. Yeah, I'd say I'm about the max height for this bike. Let's get ready to roll, but first let's try the motor. Pedal assist 3, full throttle. And that shows 20. Wonder if we could pedal it faster than 20. All right, dudes, let's take this bike out for a ride. Start the Strava up, see what kind of distance we get on our ride. Fire this display up, 99% on both batteries. Took quite a while to charge that up. And my guess this thing isn't gonna kill it on the hills, but we'll try it on the 20% grade. Pedal assist 3, let's do thumb throttle only. 500 watt motor, 750 watt peak. And throttle only, no rollout. It's not gonna let us do it, but maybe if we get a little bit of rollout here, we'll do throttle only again, see how this does. And it's bringing us up without pedaling to this point. So being that this bike does not have gears and it's a 500 watt motor, it's probably not gonna be your #1 go-to hill climber. Let's go ahead and try pedaling a little bit. Giving a little bit of help though, you know, it's getting up. I'm kind of running out of gear though. So this bike is gonna be more well suited for, you know, flat land riding or areas that have like, you know, not crazy steep hills. If you get a bit of a rollout though and attack a hill, you can do it. So hopping on this bike, the very first thing I'm noticing about it is just, you know, how nice this display is. And also my polarized lenses happen to filter it out completely. Now somebody did leave a comment in the comment section. If you put some sort of tape over this, that'll help your polarized lenses see the screen. But once I pull off these polarized lenses, it's a very nice TFT display. So let's feel out these pedal assist modes. It is a cadence sensor on this bike, not a torque sensor. So it'll give you a power, you know, it doesn't matter how hard you're pressing on the pedals. A torque sensor will give you power based on how hard you're pressing on the pedals. A cadence sensor is just a steady power. So on pedal assist 1, let's see what it'll do here. Gives you a little ramp up, just a little bit of help. I'm not really pedaling too hard at all. It's just bringing me up to right around 10.6, 11 miles per hour. I'm gonna bump that pedal assist 2 and feel a ramp up in power. And now my legs are kind of turning over to the point where I don't think I'd really want to be pedaling too much faster than this at 18 miles an hour. Actually, it brings us up to about 20, and this is where, you know, I'm pretty much out of gear already. How does the throttle work though? Let's smash on the throttle on pedal assist 2. It sounds like it's giving us more power. Let's see where this takes us. So throttle will cut us off at 20 miles per hour on pedal assist 2. Also on pedal assist 1, it'll bring us up to 20. And now let's try pedal assist 3, see what that'll do. So I am way out of gear, but it's a cadence sensor, so you don't actually have to be like having resistance on the pedals. You can just like ghost pedal it. It'll bring you up to, well, pretty darn fast. We're going 26.5. Let's use the throttle though. So it's a class 3 electric bike, meaning you have to pedal to get it up beyond 20, or throttle will take you to 20. Despite what it says on the frame, it says it's a class 2 e-bike, but it's actually giving us class 3 speeds, which I appreciate. Other observations I am noticing is it is a fairly rigid ride. There is absolutely no suspension on this bike whatsoever, which does help keep the weight down, but it does have those bigger batteries on there too, so that helps bring the weight back up. So it's, you know, it's just kind of a balancing act between, you know, range and comfort and weight, I meant to say. So the way this bike is geared, let's see what kind of high speed we can actually hit here on a little bit of a downhill. I'm just ghost pedaling. I'm actually not putting in any effort to these pedals at all because I can't keep up with the gear ratio on this bike, but it is showing 26.4 on the TFT display. So, you know, it's not like a killer speedster bike, but it's definitely fast enough to get out here and ride in traffic comfortably because it does have a pretty good top speed. And the brakes, you know, that they are mechanical disc brakes, so they don't feel, you know, superb, but they definitely work because they have big rotors, 180mm rotors. Ghost pedaling all day on this thing. Bro, look at this car, man. That thing is sweet, dude. Let's get in line behind this guy. Love it. Dude, I'm like towering over this guy. Hey, we're keeping up with this car though. How about that? So again, not really a speed racer kind of bike, but let's go ahead and do a 0 to 20 under throttle only. Ready, go. So it gives you the power right away, eases on the power, brings us up to 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So respectably quick bike, but you know, not like thrilling, not like a 1000 or 2000 watt e-bike. So being that this is a single speed bike on a cadence sensor, this bike feels most usable to me on pedal assist 1, cruising at about 10 miles an hour. So you can get in, you know, pretty much an effortless ride cruising at about 10 or 11 miles an hour. And if you did this, maybe you would actually get like 90 miles of range on this thing, because everybody knows speed kills range on e-bikes. Right now, we're probably only drawing about, I don't know, 50 watts, maybe 100 watts of power on this bike. So with about 1,000 watt hours roughly of energy on tap with these two batteries, you could get some significant range cruising at this speed. Just, you know, mellow, chill, no stop and go. However, when this bike becomes a little bit less usable is when you put it on pedal assist 2, and then you kind of start to run out of gear by the time, you know, you got to start really pedaling pretty quick to keep up with putting any power down to the pedals, and your legs are turning over pretty darn quick to be going 19 miles an hour on pedal assist 2. And I guess the good or bad thing, depending on how you look at it, is you don't have to pedal this bike at all. You could just, you know, totally use the thumb throttle and have yourself a little mini motorcycle. But as we just witnessed, it'll top you out at 20, which will help you get better range. But if you want to go beyond 20, gotta put in that ghost pedaling essentially. If you're less than 6'5", I could see this being a very comfortable riding position e-bike. For me personally, at my height, puts me a little bit up on the handlebars, which is fine. I mean, I'm comfortable on this bike, but if we could drop that seat down just a little bit, it'd be a little more relaxed. So can it go uphill in the sand? Of course not. Tires aren't wide enough, doesn't have enough power. That's not what this bike is for. But the benefit of a belt drive is you're not gonna get sand all up in your gears and your chain. Belt drives are very low maintenance, so if that's what you're looking for, that's one benefit of this bike. There's so much sand gets up in that chain, and it's just a nightmare for component wear and tear. So even though it is like best on pedal assist 1, what is it like to pedal when we put it on pedal assist 0 and have absolutely no help at all? Well, let's try it from a stop. I mean, you know, it's an e-bike. This thing weighs like, I think, what, 70 pounds? So I mean, you know, once you get it rolling, it's not terrible, but there's a lot of weight here. Now, of course, you could take both batteries out if you want to just roll with no motor. In general, you're going to want to have this thing at least on pedal assist 1. So we're going to go test this thing out on a long, gradual incline, 85-foot climb, and we're going to test the brakes. But as we're riding, I'm trying to think, who is this bike for? I think this bike is for somebody who wants to cruise at about 10 miles an hour, get a little bit of assistance, and just, you know, make for a nice, easy, comfortable ride. And also have a low maintenance bike. Like I said, we'll test the brakes out here in just a few. They are mechanical disc brakes. They work just fine, especially, you know, if you're just intending on going 10 to 20 miles an hour. You really don't need, you know, hydraulic or anything better. And then also, you know, just something that's low maintenance. You don't got to worry about, you know, messing with the chain and gears and all that stuff. Also, cruising at about 10 miles an hour, you don't really need suspension in the same way you do, you know, if you're going faster. You know, if you're hitting like 20, 30 miles an hour, you're going to be really banging over those bumps. But if you're just cruising slow, you don't really need all the complexity of suspension. It does help keep the weight of the bike down too. Oh my goodness. This dude's about to get swept up in this street sweeper. I guess he got lucky. This guy's decided to take a break. This hill right here is 85 feet tall, and we have a 12% grade. See those tiny little people up there? We're gonna be one of them in just a moment. So we've already seen this bike doesn't crush it on steep hills. Well, let's try the 12% grade, see if it does any better here on the loop-de-loop. So I'm just doing throttle only. I'm not even helping it right now. And with the rollout coming in here, we're holding about 6 miles an hour and dropping 5 miles an hour. I'm gonna just pedal just a little bit because it feels like the right thing to do. It's not really geared for climbing hills. Whoa, back tire locked up there. Pulled that back brake a little hard. So these mechanical brakes don't have quite the feedback as a hydraulic brake. So let's try, throttle only on the California incline. So if you have hills that are, you know, kind of more modest, 12%-ish grade, this bike can hold down some decent power, pulling us at about 16 miles an hour. Is that speedometer accurate? Now would be a good time to check it. 17 miles an hour, so yeah, it'll pull us up here about 16, 17. And that's exactly what I would expect from a 500 watt, 750 watt peak motor. We were just down there. Give it a brake test here from about 20 on these mechanical brakes, and Yeah, they're not like the greatest, but you know, they're fine. They definitely work. They're just not quite as good as, you know, hydraulic brakes. I guess a couple benefits are you don't have to worry about the hydraulic fluid giving out on you and suddenly losing braking pressure altogether. And also with regards to maintenance, you might have to adjust this cable a little more often on mechanical disc brakes. And unlike hydraulic brakes, you won't have to worry about doing any sort of like hydraulic fluid changes or brake bleeding. It's just like a more simple maintenance. As long as you're not like speed racing this thing, you're not gonna have any problem with these brakes. They're fine. I don't know what I was saying about 90 miles before. So they say we can do 62 miles of range on this bike. Right now, we're about 15 miles into this ride and sitting at 80% on both of the batteries. In order to get that long range here, it says up to 90 miles, but that would be under swappable batteries conditions. So I guess they're saying if you carry an extra battery, buy an extra battery or two and bring them with you. And current list price says from $21.99, which seems a little bit high. However, right now it is on sale for $12.99, which seems much more fair. The best price and any sort of discount I can offer you will be linked below this video in the description box right below this video. Let's head on home, see what kind of final range we get out of these batteries. Bunch of bees. I don't know if you can see, but there's bees swarming around out there. They're putting sage on the bees. Oh my goodness, dude, they're shaking them up. What? Oh my goodness. Holy crap, the bees are like out. Oh, he got stung. Did somebody just like leave that bag here?
No, it's their bag.
Oh.
Down and all of a sudden all these bees just came over.
Oh.
Only in Venice.
Oh, I guess bees just like swarmed to that bag. That was weird, dude.
Thank you, dude. You're a lifesaver. I appreciate you.
I got stung one time. So I guess bees just like swarmed on this guy's bag. And this other dude saved it. One thing that's nice about this bike is we can effortlessly cruise at speeds that would otherwise cause a sweat. Dude, I gotta say, oh crap, dude, that guy just freaking blew this red light, man. You gotta look both ways before you cross the road here. All right, dudes, just rolling up on 18 miles here after about an hour, 40 minutes ride time, showing 65% remaining on the battery. Seems about right, you know, 20 amp hours total, 48 volt system. Pretty much what I would expect. All around, the bike is decent. If you do want to grab one, buy through the link below in the description box. It would help support my reviews here on this channel, and I would greatly appreciate your support. However, if this is not the kind of bike you're looking for, watch this video next. Catch you over there.